it's like if you agree with someone, like Raquel Welch's one great piece of ass, forget about it. Then it's also like if something is the greatest thing in the world, like Get Peppers, forget about it. Sometimes it just means forget about it.
Looking like Jesus at the Last Supper, surrounded by snakes when the crowd loves ya. Who's this ruthless Judas? Doesn't matter, bro. He only has one goal, leaving you on sabbatical. Alien predator, making you pray to your God, pleading for your forgiveness when you face this mirage. Forget about it. It's a tale as old as time is reminded when you're blinded. What divine designed it led us to this moment. Lock, stock, and barrel. Careful getting loaded. Shots off on arrow. Caught in crosshair splittings. Justify the means, right?
On that rap? Is that Maine Rock? I thought so.
The mighty, mighty Maine Rock. Yes, sir, it was.
Do they all have a show coming up? Don't one of them have a show coming up? Not tonight. I know there's one tonight.
Luke got a show tonight.
But I thought there was one like October 7th or something.
That's not. Well, that's Adrian's show.
Oh, that's right. But on the, I don't know, on the thing.
Enemy.
I didn't know if Enemy was saying like these are folks on the album, or these are folks that are going to be at the show. I'm hoping for both, you know. But Stay Tuned was on the list, so Maine Rock, Inkline, A What, Ichiban might all be there too. Who knows?
Hell yeah. I'm sure I'll be at that one.
Oh, I'll definitely try to be at that one. Isn't your brother like getting hitched right around there too?
That's the weekend that he gets married, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, shout out to my brother.
Josh Zome Romero.
Hell yeah.
It's so weird calling him Josh. But not a lot of people call him
Then
Zome
don't.
too much.
I call him Zome all the time.
Well, he also calls you dialect exclusively and won't call you anything but dialect.
Yeah, why?
But that's not your name anymore. He's
He's dead naming me. Oh, man.
That one up.
No, he's not dead naming me. You get canceled for that.
Cancel for that.
But you don't even rap. Dialect's not your rapping name anymore.
I mean, I've always been J Class. I've always been dialect. What I changed really was what I was writing on the file of the MP3. That's all I really wanted to do. It wasn't that I didn't like dialect as a name. It was just that when you typed it in the way that I wrote it, there was like a couple goofy white dudes in different states also using that, also had a buzz, like around the same as mine. So none of us were like nasty or nothing, but we all had a couple people searching it. And so you'd search me and you'd get some weird ass, goofy ass beer pong song. And it was trash. And I did not want to be associated with that. I'd have people walk up on me and be like, "Did you do the beer pong song?" And I'm like, "What? Don't you ever insult me."
With a song about beer pong.
I did a song about Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Shout out to Spoken Words. No, man. So I changed it from dialect to J Class because no one else these days still use a J Class. When you search it, you find Jay-Z class of blah blah or me.
Or you. All right. J Class.
I haven't released nothing in a minute though, so
Well, did you release the song that we did the video for here?
yeah. It's on our YouTube.
Yeah, but did you release it? Release it by what you just meant by like I haven't released a song in a minute.
Oh, I
Did you
mean, yeah. I
consider
mean,
that
we
as one?
released it. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Well, heck, I guess
That's what I mean by that.
That was 9 months ago.
You know what I mean?
Louise,
I put it on the net, and I said, "Be free, my friend." You know what I'm saying?
If you love it, let it go.
Get out there and be somebody. You know?
Get something for yourself. Song.
That sounds fun and new. We should do another one. I was telling Eric about that today.
Do another music video. All right.
Fuck yeah. I like being dialect.
Ooh,
But it's the one thing I know
bring
that
it
I'm
back.
nasty at, you know?
Being dialect.
I'm like, man, sometimes you get like imposter syndrome and like self-conscious and all kinds of stuff that all the feelings you get. But man, me, I can always point back that a motherfucker can rap. Oh
Well,
man.
yeah. Dialects, this and that, and the third, but
There's a bunch of people
motherfucker
that think
can
this
rap.
is it right now. No, we're not doing one right now. I promise. Sorry. Maybe tomorrow. Not today.
Oh, no, we're not introing a new video. No.
That'd be tight though.
I would have. I mean, you surprised me with that. I would have been like, "Dang, are we?" I almost thought we were. For a
I was
second.
gonna
Like,
say,
don't
are
trick me.
we about to
Not
release
again.
Steven's
Not again.
first album?
Yeah, Main Rock was trying to convince me.
Guy
to have, like, a
Spencer, The
TikTok.
Adventures of Guy Spencer, Volume 1.
Hell yeah!
Maybe that's it's a story that needs to be told.
Guy rhymes with a lot of stuff, you know? Way more than Steven.
I don't know. Steven rhymes with a good amount of stuff.
Even. That's the base word in Steven.
The base word,
Oh, yeah. That's the Greek root word.
Greek root word of Steven is even.
Even.
Opposite of odd.
Oh, man. What day is it?
I think it's the 24th of September.
That's true. It's 7:27. My name is Justin. To my left, your right, that's going to be Steven.
Howdy.
Straight ahead of us, producer always Eric. Eric, get in the shot real quick, at least for the people on the tube, man.
Come on.
Proper name from Latin Stephanus, from Greek Stephanos, from Stephanos crown, wreath, garland, chaplet, crown, or victory.
Now that's an intro, Justin. That's
that an
what that's
intro?
what I want each time. Is I want something that detailed and nice. Not this is Steven. I want,
But that's
Greek for
Stephen Stephen.
the fuck it is.
Stefan.
No.
Mm-hmm. Remember Steve Urkel's fucking alter ego,
Stefan.
Stefan?
Isn't that who you were just referencing?
Oh man.
Or you?
No,
didn't?
I think he was just saying it that way.
Oh no, that's what I thought he was referencing. Was Stefan.
They come from the same root of Stephen.
See.
Stefan. But Stephen with a V is just a variant of it. That
Yo, Stefan is Steve Urkel's
Alter ego.
like
Suave. Alter ego.
suave is a good word.
He like lips his lips all the time and wears a suit with no
He
shirt
basic-
on
he turned-
and like a gold chain.
He
like,
basically
instead of an
turned into
undershirt.
LL Cool J for an episode. He does his best LL Cool J impression, and he spends the episode, and then fucking Laura's all over him until he's back to be a Steve again. Then she's all mad. What a cunt.
Oof. Oof. That's a word, but I mean that's
She wasn't mean to Steve all the time. I'm glad that they wrote that they ended up together, but come on, she was mean, boy.
well.
I don't remember if she was mean.
I can't
hardly
remember that
remember
show,
Family
but I
Guy.
remember that
it was a
one
fun
quite
show.
a bit. Yeah,
But-
it was a great show.
I mean-
I do that. Yeah, his pants up and shit. And the acting was awesome and funny.
Icon of the culture of that time. You know what I mean?
Steve Urkel.
Fuck yeah.
Who's got more weight there, Screech or Steve Urkel? I feel like that was like the same time,
Ooh.
almost same like character. Both kind of blacklisted for that character forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Urkel.
Urkel, I like Urkel better there too.
Dustin Portman or Port? What's something?
Screech,
Screech?
didn't he get like
think he's in
laced
jail,
up
no?
for being a pedo?
Was it a pedo? I thought he stabbed someone.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's like a big range for you to just be like, I don't know, fuck him. Like,
I mean,
whoa,
yeah, definitely.
whoa.
Though.
Hold on, I don't want him to go throw dirt on his name though.
I mean-
if he's a pedo, fuck that guy. But if he's not, I mean, stabbing a motherfucker is just, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Oh no, I'm from a different place. We're
His
stabbing
name-
a motherfucker. It's
What else
way
do you
more
know that man
normal.
for besides playing Screech?
Huh?
What else do you know that man for besides playing Screech?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Stabbing a motherfucker, I thought.
Did he stab somebody? Eric's figuring this out.
He did die
He died?
earlier this year at 44.
What?
Small cell carcinoma.
Get the. We're talking about Screech.
Dustin Diamond.
Dustin Diamond.
Died
Yeah.
of a left-sided carcinoma? What?
This fucking guy. Oh, that's cited. Anyways, what was it from?
Small cell carcinoma.
What's that?
I had no idea.
Is that cancer?
It's so sad. What is it?
I think so. Oh wait.
It's fucking asshole. That's a human being.
You were also right though. On December 26, 2014, Diamond was arrested in Wisconsin for possession of a switchblade knife, which was alleged to have been pulled during a bar altercation in which a man was stabbed. He was only charged for. He was only charged
You want a
$500.
pedo, though, right?
No.
You can't just be throwing dirt on a dead man's name. That's dead naming a motherfucker. I'll tell you right there, you get yourself canceled through that shit.
Well, I'm so sorry to Dustin Diamond.
I don't know if you noticed, but fucking
His name is Dustin Diamond, and he played a character named Screech. And I'm sorry that I
don't know if you noticed,
Said
but
that
Mario
he was a
Lopez has not aged a day, and he will fuck you up.
He will fuck you up.
You think he would come out for Screech?
Fuck yeah, you don't think so?
You don't think he was the dude in the bar that got stabbed? That's the part they don't tell you.
Oh man, you think Mario Lopez made a deal with the devil, and Screech happened to walk in, and somehow their souls got switched?
They got Freaky Friday just one time, but it never went back.
Well, Mario Lopez just took on like all of his life power, and everything Dustin Diamond was from then on just went down. And meanwhile, Mario Lopez hasn't aged a day.
Because he's a succubus, like just taking the soul of Screech and living off of that.
I
or
mean,
they-
either that or plastic surgery. Which one do you think?
I don't know. No.
He was also in a movie called Big Money Restless. That I believe the starring actors are the Insane Clown Posse.
Poor him.
In a
It's
cowboy.
generous calling them the starring actors.
Oh man.
Or that a movie.
Or that a movie.
Jesus.
Oh man, the boys got money though. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm mad at ICP for making their money.
Or
Fuck
they're
it.
even the posse. I'm not even mad at like all those folks. What do they call them? It's not the posse. That's sorry, I'm misnaming them.
The insane clown pot. You're talking about the
Juggalos.
juggalos.
The Juggalos.
They're not
Yo, I'll tell you right
terrible
now.
folks.
We did a show for the Juggalos one time in Commerce City, and it fucking cracked.
Yeah.
Like they fucking. Like, yo, first of all, you don't even know that these motherfuckers are in your city like that. Like, they don't come around. They're not like just walking around juggalos and shit until there's an event, and then they all just go straight there. You know what I'm saying?
All of them.
And motherfucker, we were at some spot in Commerce City, and or maybe fuck Glowville, I don't remember. And it was like some little bar, but there was a big outside. And they had to have packed fucking 2,000 fucking 1,500 fucking juggalos in there, boy. And we were
They're all
like,
in the same
"Holy
face paint. They're
fuck."
like, sure. They can't even count how many people are in there because they're all dressed the same and painted their face the same.
Yo. And they're all, and they're the most polite motherfuckers ever.
They're not.
But they're going rowdy, and you think it's like when I'm used to that energy level, I'm like, oh shit, someone's gonna get shot. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not like, I'm not new to that energy level. It's just when I see it and I feel it, I'm like automatically thinking, fight's about to break out.
Yeah.
And these fools do not fight. They don't bang. They're the nicest motherfuckers on earth, but they get rowdy. And then so when we went on stage, we didn't know how it was gonna be because all the other motherfuckers going up were like these juggalo cats. And like straight up, they all wanted to be ICP. And we were like, fuck, dude. Like, I mean, we're not,
I remember.
we don't
that
really
time
fit in here.
music. Yep.
And we had a foe jump on with us. And I think foe stage dived and shit, and they fucking boy
Carried
that
him?
shit. Yo, it was wild.
King Foe. I don't know if he's named for it.
Shout out to the Juggalos.
Foe is not a little guy.
No, fuck no, boy.
Foe's Justin and I together at that time at least. Both of us like
Boy.
not stacked on top, but just like as high and as wide as both of us. He was a big guy.
And not like heavy big, but just big, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even just like stocky big, just a big built
But like
motherfucker.
6'5", probably 260.
6'5", you think?
I think he's bigger than me. It's been a
I
long
do be
time.
looking up to him. Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. Shout out to Poe. And shout out to the fucking Denver Juggalos. And I don't remember who the fuck got us that show, but
I heard that
I mean, they
there's
asked my
a
brother, and my
pretty,
brother was like, "Yeah, fuck it."
I heard there's a pretty like high concentration of juggalos here in Denver that are like
Probably.
exactly like you said that are. I mean, they're such kind people. I even remember in the Bernie campaign, they even like spiked into some of those conversations because, I mean, those people are all about like love and kindness.
When they
through
get
all
like,
that shit,
yeah, when they get really
like,
aggressive on each other, it's to like calm someone else down.
yeah,
Who's
it's-
going too far.
It's incredible because it's. I will admit, I'm intimidated and like a little not weirded out, but I do find them to be a little strange. Like not in any kind of bad way, but it's definitely different to experience some of those folks. And some of them are like you would have no idea. Some of them you're like, oh yeah, that's how they live their life, right? That is how they live their life, and it's a little different. But if you like just take a moment to get past the visual differences, or maybe I mean really just visual. And you get to know somebody or some of those folks.
They're cool as fuck.
they're
If you've ever
fucking
been to
great.
a rave, and you know like the
Never
energy,
been to a rave.
Alright, so at a rave, motherfuckers are always like, "Oh my god, love, peace, it's all of you. You're perfect the way you are. Express yourself." You know, it's like that kind of thing. And then so people that go to like big raves, at least I don't know how it be. Sometimes it's probably so much drugs, it's whatever, and that's half of why it is. But in any case, it's like there's this whole overall feeling that everybody's cool. Like you don't have to worry about how cool you are. Everybody's cool, right? And so you can be as whatever as you want, and everybody's tight, right? That's like the feeling at raves. Juggalos are just raves for motherfuckers that don't like techno. I don't know if they do the drugs, but I know that they're just as nice and they act the same way and around each other. They just want to be cool, you know? And I'm like, man, I mean, their music ain't for me. You can't rap. My bad. But,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
magnets, how the fuck
do
do
you
they
think?
work?
If you like that shit, you like that shit. What am I doing?
That's a wild one. See, I'm on the opposite end of things where like the only thing that I've heard about them is that they're like recognized as a gang, and then I was just like looking it up as like why they were kind of recognized like that. It's just like small groups being like assholes. A couple of them had said some arson cases in Navajo reservation as like a
Yeah,
status
fucking
thing.
fuck.
It's like the arson is that. In New Jersey, there was a couple of cases. But yeah, that's
Yeah, man. I mean, that doesn't really paint everyone, though, you know? So
For
it's
sure.
like the juggalos I met here, literally all 2,000 of them, that's what they're about.
All 2,000 of them.
Shook everyone's hand. Nice to meet you, sir.
And
you
they
imagine?
probably dapped you up, handed you a Fago, and said that was a good show, my dog.
They gigged. It was tight.
Oh, I bet.
I was not mad at that at all. I mean, again, it wasn't like, it's not our scene or nothing, but we're like, oh, we're going to do that again next year. We'll be back. You know, it was like a total just some wild shit, but I have nothing but good things to say about them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
female juggalos are called juggalettes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
That's fun. That's a fun name.
I have some
They're interesting.
I have some clients that are like, do you know those folks that are like Renaissance fair folks? Like every
Yeah.
year they go and like dress up.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
thing.
Ren Fair.
Yeah. Well, no, the folks
They
I
just
know
don't
are
like
pretty-
hip-hop.
The ones that I know are, I'm pretty sure, are also like juggalos, and I'm pretty sure that's probably a pretty like good Venn diagram intersection. There is like folks that dress up for Ren Fair, and folks that are also juggalos and nets. I think that intersection would be pretty big if they were all willing to admit it. But also Renaissance Fair, usually pretty fun folk, pretty good fun folk that dress.
I mean,
dress
the
up for that
Renaissance Fair is
stuff
fun.
and do that.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It is.
It does. I'm not going to lie. I feel. Never mind.
I'm not gonna lie. Never mind.
Well, I wasn't going to lie. And I can't lie about it, so never mind.
You're
I can't.
still not gonna lie.
Well, I'm going to get canceled, okay?
All right. Well,
White people in big groups make me nervous.
white people in big groups.
When I get around a gang of white people like that, I start
Hey,
to feel
man.
nervous, man.
Me too.
I'm like, hey, dude. Hey,
Definitely. I don't think you're gonna get. I feel that way too. I feel like most people, like all white people, feel nervous around big groups. But usually it's like because it's not other white people. But definitely, big groups of white people is
I
scary.
mean, yeah, man. I don't know why. I just get nervous.
You explaining why it might get you canceled, but we can leave it at that.
Well, no. Oh, anyways, what's this beer we're drinking?
this is the Haas from Great Divide. And Great Divide, like I said earlier, they're from here, Denver. They've had a bar down there for a long time. It's a lot of fun. They've opened a bunch of other stuff. Good timing. They've opened a bunch of other like locations and stuff recently. I think they got bought out. Not bought out, but like they sold most of their shares so that they could still make money, but they don't have as much control. And like this beer is a perfect example of it. Yeah, I'm pissed too, boo. I'm so pissed. But this beer used to be called the Rye Lager.
I mean, I like the design.
Is it this one specific one, or like that's just kind of rebranded to be the right?
So this one, so yeah, all the like branding, the can, the plaid, the lumberjack, all that shit has always been the same. It was called the Haas, and it used to be called Rye Lager. They used to do it all the time. Sold it all year. It was great. One of my favorite beers. Probably my, one of my favorite beers from
This
Great
right here
Divide.
is your favorite beer.
Well, it used to be. Now it's called the Oktoberfest Lager, and I'm not sure if the recipe is what it used to be after they stopped selling it for a while, brought the design back, and now it's an Oktoberfest Lager, which only comes out during this time of the year, and they might have cut a lot of the rye content out, which is what I liked about it. They probably still have some in there, but it looks like they took the branding from an old popular brand, discontinued it, rebirthed it, and just put Oktoberfest in there and sell it once a year as this beer.
So you don't like it?
Well, I don't like what's happened to the beer, but I
What's
think
happened to it? You think it's emotionally distressed?
like the beer? Well, it's gone through a lot, Justin. Maybe it is. But I just think that it used to be so good. And now I can't tell if it's just my vanity of being like, oh, they renamed it and like I haven't seen it and it doesn't taste good anymore, or if they changed the recipe. I don't know. But it doesn't seem like it
So
used
what's
to be.
rye? Besides rye bread, I really don't know what rye tastes like. Like, I can't tell you. Like, if you gave me three things, I couldn't tell you which one was rye.
Yeah, and most people can't, and you wouldn't even in like when you associate like rye bread, usually people's mind goes to cardamom because cardamom is generally in rye bread, and that flavor of like what you get is rye, and that smell that's real like pungent that you would identify as rye bread, not rye. That's actually cardamom. That's just normal in rye bread recipes.
What?
Yeah. So rye doesn't taste much different. Like, have you had rye whiskey? Have you noticed how rye bread and rye whiskey don't have a very similar like taste?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't really drink whiskey, so when I've drank whiskey, it's been because somebody gave me one. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm sure at one point Rob gave me because that boy used to like whiskey, or Keeks or someone was like, "Here's a rye whiskey."
Yeah.
But I don't know. Whiskey tastes like fucking barrel.
It tastes like wood.
Like barrel. It's terrible. I'm like, who? What other thing do we like? They make it sound like it's good. Like, oh, it's all barrel aged and the barrel and this and the barrel. Name one other thing besides beer and whiskey that we claim barrel tastes good.
Tequila.
Okay, these already gross ass things, and then you're adding a gross ass flavor with it.
Maple
Why?
syrup.
Maple syrup does not have no barrel flavor.
Well, there's barrel aged maple syrup.
Oh, bud.
Go to Canada,
We're talking about normal
Canada.
people, bud. I've never been to
Canadians
Canada.
aren't normal people.
I don't know. They talk like that.
Wow, this guy over here just
We have
All of Canada. Fuck them.
fuck them all.
Fuck them all on their floppy heads. And I'm talking about.
Nova Saskatchewan, fuck you.
Quebec.
Remember on South
Regina,
Floppy heads?
Ontario, fuck you. What's the other one?
Canada's up there. I'm just
Montreal,
kidding.
fuck Montreal.
I'm just kidding. I fuck with Canada heavy. Shout out to all the relatives in Canada.
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I'm talking about?
Okay. No. All right, you guys didn't get my Canadian jokes.
No, I didn't hear.
No.
I
It's
don't know
okay.
nothing about Canada.
It's okay.
They sounded vaguely Canadian names, so I don't know exactly what the joke was.
Well, so all of you who might want a Canadian geography lesson, those were all a combination of two different Canadians.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Okay, let me tell you that if you
Montreal,
have to
come on, that's
explain the joke,
Vancouver.
it's no good.
I know, but maybe we have to educate some fools about Canada because of
Or
racist
maybe you
jerks
just
like
make
you.
better jokes.
Don't be racist against the. just
That's not
normal
racist.
folk.
That's nationalist.
Real quick, we have a couple comments.
All right,
from-
Patriot, calm down.
Okay.
Oh my God, what are you saying?
We got a couple comments from
Oh goodness, this one.
from Mr. Romero on YouTube. Rye bread sucks, whiskey sucks, and barrels add wood smoke flavor.
Bro, see who wants wood smoke? I mean, I guess on my steak I fuck with smoke. I'm taking this back now.
See, because I've
Smoke
seen like
beer is different. Smoke beer is way different. I'll tell you, I haven't brought a smoked beer on here because I hate them. I hate
That's
them.
racist.
I hate smoked.
How
beer.
does does it work with like smoked beer? Because I've seen like the little smokers that they have for like whiskey, where like you put the glass over it and like you burn some shit like
No,
3
no,
feet
no,
away.
no.
Yeah, that feels like it. That would be the whiskey version of LaCroix, where it's like the essence of like wood smoke, where it's like barely there.
Literally, my favorite smoked beer, which is the only one I like because I hate it, is just an essence. Literally an essence. So smoked beer, the way that you make it is you smoke the malt. So instead of like just kilning the malt and just a heat source, you smoke it under a fire with some kind of wood source that's
Roll it up.
right? And then so it gets all that smoke flavor in there. Then you brew that shit into the beer, and it gets. I mean, there's beers that are so smoky it burns my throat when I've drank them because it's just like, oh, just like it's so charred, it's so smoky. Like just the same way. That's Scotch, right? Scotch, when you make Scotch and you it's peaty like that, just because the Scotch malt, the malt that you make the whiskey with, is smoked just like that under a fire of peat wood, which is what gives it that like fucking nasty dirt taste that Scotch tastes like, right? That I don't know why people like. I don't like Scotch.
Dude, I don't like none of them.
That it's smoky and peaty. Like if you've heard peaty as like a term, is
Peaty
like
crack?
dirt. No, not that good. But just like peaty as in tastes like fucking almost manure, in my opinion.
That sounds terrible.
It is gross, but people love it. And
See, I mean,
Rausch beer is the name of smoked beer, or like the category of smoked beer is Rausch beer. And the only Rausch beer that I like is a beer that this brewery in, I think they're in Germany, Schleck, I can't even remember it or say it.
you're
But
just making shit up now.
all they do is make smoked beers. All of them are smoked. And the only one that they don't use smoked malt in is the one that I like, which is just like a Bud Light style beer, a Hell's. And all they do is just brew it in their normal tanks. But their normal tanks brew so much smoked malt that Hell's, without any smoke in it, still picks up the smoke from the brewery and all the system and everything that it just takes. So it just literally grabs the essence of smoke from what everything else is always smoked in. And you
Yeah, I
get
don't
this really
smoke
nice.
beer. I only smoke weed. I'm talking about.
I'll bring that beer on next time. They sell it in cans now, which is pretty fucking crazy.
I wanna make a beer like that and call it Smoke Adjacent.
Smoke adjacent. I like smoke adjacent beers. That's exactly how I would describe my relationship with smoked beers. Is I would like it to be smoke adjacent. Anything
That's not really
beyond
doing
that.
anything though.
I'll give you this beer, and then you'll be like, "There's some smoke in there. There's some
Probably liquid
essence of
smoke. Boy, put a little drop in there before they gave it to you.
Maybe that's what it probably is. Is that Linman's liquid smoke?
You know what I'm saying?
Just little
A little drip
some
drop.
amino
Bang.
acids.
Got
Get
him.
yourself some amino acids.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I just don't get it. It don't make no sense.
What do you think of this beer?
It tastes like this beer tastes like when you reach into a cooler and grab a random beer. And you don't hate it, you don't love it, you just drinking beer.
You're like, I never heard of this, and it tastes different than the normal ones, but it ain't bad.
I'll tell you, next time I'm going to the cooler though, like I'm reaching for the Modelo on purpose. You know what I mean?
I think that is the exact intention of this beer. Nowadays, with this Oktoberfest bullshit with the cooler.
To make you want something else?
No, to make you not care if you ever try it again.
That's a take.
That's weird.
This tastes like what I imagined beer would taste like before I drank beer.
This tastes like what beer smell like to a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, so are we on the Great Divide team? Like, yeah, they're cool, or are we like, fuck those guys?
Yeah. They're fine. I used to like them, when I was younger. I liked what they were doing and what they were brewing, this stuff. And they had like a samurai rice lager that was super cool and really good.
A samurai rice? That sounds racist.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Maybe a little bit, but
But I never thought about it.
this was also in like 2012. It was a little
Oh, that
different
makes it
world.
okay.
This was a while ago. Doesn't make it
That was
But we
okay.
didn't give a fuck about
That was-
Asians then. We can give a fuck about them now.
No,
though.
no, that was before the world ended.
That was before Jackie Chan got older, and now we're all scared that he's like getting old.
Who?
Jackie Chan, boy.
Oh, Jackie Chan.
Don't nobody
I
want
thought you
Jackie
said
Chan to
Jackie
get
Chan
old,
or
because if he
something.
was like ever old, you'd be like, oh man, that was the fucking man. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, I don't mean that. I wasn't. I don't even know what the fuck you're trying to like catch me on there. But sure.
I'm just saying, we can't be racist.
I agree.
That is
And
very true.
almost 10 years ago, calling a rice lager samurai was not grounds to be canceled. Almost 10 years ago. Nowadays, probably would, but they stopped making that beer a while ago, and it wasn't because of that. I just don't think it sold a ton, but it was a good beer. But they just made stuff that like was interesting to me. They made beer that wasn't always the same, and then they did what any brewer probably would that started a brewery in like the 90s like they did and made it really popular, got national distribution. You fucking sell out and
Oh,
let
yeah.
somebody pay you $1 billion and like
Stop calling it sell out. They just sell.
they just sell.
They have
Yeah.
a business. They sell it. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying?
so they sell it? Oh, sell it.
It's a pass off. You know what I mean? You're saying sell out. Like, there's fucking sellouts, and you're like, oh, that's got like a negative connotation to it, boy. They're not really selling out. I mean, it's pretty tight. If you could build a business to the point where somebody buys it from you, and then you don't have to worry about money no more, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Lieutenant Dan invest all your money in some fruit company.
Sure.
I mean, that's tight.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate the notes on Great Divide rant.
I'm
that
call-
you've
I'm
been,
calling and
just
telling my- hey, man.
interjecting.
Will y'all tell the owners good job?
Yeah, I don't know who runs it now, but I liked it when it was older. That's as much as I would say about Great Divide. And now it still puts out pretty decent beer in Denver, has some cool spots. I think they have like a burger joint downtown too and all this other stuff, but it's fine. The Haas, same thing. Fine. Good beer to drink. Wouldn't tell anybody not to drink this.
I mean, I wouldn't tell anybody to drink it either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways,
That's enough about beer.
what you been paying attention to lately? What you got to talk about? Anything?
I mean, I really haven't been, if you mean in the like world sphere of things, there's been a lot of like just kind of floating around stuff. Nothing I've been really crazy passionate about hearing or talking about, but there's just a lot of stuff going on in the world with like UN. I think the UN met recently. Pardon me. I think the UN met recently, and it's just not going well. I don't know too many details. There's been a lot of shit. Nothing. I don't know. Nothing crazy. There's some pretty disgusting shit as completely par for the course. Disgusting shit happening at our southern border in the United States. But like I said, what else is new?
Well, that is wild. Let's talk about that. I want to know how come and man, it's hilarious that I can't even say this sentence
You're
without
that
knowing where it goes or without knowing how other people frame it. But just hear the sentence as it is. How come Trump's border policies made him a bigot, but Biden continuing the policies does not make him a bigot. Because Biden right now is not doing anything new. He's using the policy that Trump signed into order in like 2017, and he's just not changing it, and he's continuing it exactly as Trump wrote it. Well, when Trump wrote it, he was a bigot. That was like the thing. He's a bigot. That's where it started. He's a bigot because of this. Right? And I want to know how come it's not like even. Why isn't Biden also a bigot?
Well, first and foremost, he fucking absolutely is. Right? Just because the media and all this shit has not come through and
don't leave me
said,
hanging.
oh, yeah. I thought that was some shit for the camera. But
That's for you.
yeah, no, he is. And it's fucked up. It was fucked up then. It's fucked up now. And I mean, what you can put whatever reason you want. You can like be mad at Joe Biden. You can be mad at fucking Donald Trump. You can be mad at the Dems. You can be mad at the Republicans. Thing is, you're mad at the same folks. The reason that we see this is because they have the same agenda around that kind of stuff.
That was bars, by the way.
Huh?
That was bars. Fire.
Right on. Did something rhyme or something? Did
Bars.
I rhyme something?
Bars.
Or was that a joke? About.
So keep going.
All right.
Don't get caught up now.
Because they're confusing me.
No, I'm just look. It's just that's just wild to me. That's like, and that people will now run around and say that Trump is a bigot, and it's like, I'm not saying he is or he isn't.
Is it that surprising though, Justin?
But I
We can't
remember that it
remember a news
started.
cycle
But
for
it
3
started
weeks.
the most when it became a blanket statement for him. It was because of his border policy. That's where it started, where they were able to like throw that word out. Otherwise, they were just saying it unsubstantiated.
I mean, he
Right?
called Mexican people rapists and criminals. He like, I mean, there was a lot of like,
during that thing, and it was the policy that he put in,
right.
right? And again, if Biden just continues, how come he's also not a bigot? Why are we
Well,
not
because
mad?
also Democrats are better at PR,
Aren't
right?
they?
And because liberals,
They're dying
liberals,
right now. They're about to
liberals
love
all
the shit they have control of again.
just from the conservative shit, and this happens every time, and they like it
Yeah,
happens
because
so
Democrats
often.
are disconnected.
Well, and it happens so often, it almost seems like it's on purpose, right? Because they get to redistrict shit now, and then all this shit happens, and Democrats are just like, no, redlining's bad, but just keep doing it, but just not too much, because it also helps them, right? It helps them play their games in primaries to make sure they get the Democrats that they want into the actual positions that they need them into in states and local levels and places like that, to stop, being able to get a real coalition of workers or of people that are enough the same in one way or another that still won't be divided by goofy fucking red blue shit, being able to say Trump's shitty and Biden sucks. Because the thing is too, on the same level of, if you look at the argument you're talking about, Trump people are still pissed off at Biden, and he's doing this shit just like they love Trump doing, and they don't want to admire Biden for doing it either, right? Just in the same flip of that, they won't admire Biden for doing the same shit that they praise Trump for, because it's not about what they're doing, because they don't fucking know or care, because it doesn't affect any of those people's lives, liberals or fucking conservative folks. It doesn't affect any of those people's lives of what happens on the border, which is why it doesn't fucking matter to them, and it doesn't matter which side you're on. It's fucking bullshit. And they're looking at the same piece of shit on each side of a fucking window.
Straight up. Well,
I didn't really.
I liked your answer to that, and I mean, of course, that's mostly just one of those. I know the answer, but it's like
Some folks don't.
so annoying. Well, it's just like I just don't think that like. Oh man, I don't know. To be honest, I try to think about the way people feel sometimes now, and like, I got cousins that are like so against the vaccine, and when I hear them talk, I get it. Now, I don't agree. You know what I mean? I feel like they're just uneducated on the subject, and that every education they've got has been shoved down their throat in a fucking in some kind of like asshole way, as like a smack to them, and so they've never absorbed any of it, and they've decided, they've marked all that shit as not real, because if it is, then it hurts my feelings because somebody did it in some fucked up ass way. And it's like nobody educates them in like a true way, and so that's why they only end up understanding when like people die, you know. And it's like, and it's watch my cousins do it because I'm like nervous about my people dying, you know. And at the same time, I'm like, I hear you. You know what I mean? I don't think you're a terrible person. I think you're uneducated on this particular subject. That's it. Like, you're smart. You know what I mean? You're like, but, you know, and I'm like, I don't know, man. And so I've been thinking about this stuff, about like how people even like feel about shit. And when it comes to like Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I'm like, these are the same motherfuckers. Just one had Twitter.
One had a red tie.
Yeah.
One has a blue tie.
And I'm like,
One's a white old. I mean, they're both white old men in suits. Literally, the only difference is like their shapes and their tie color and their hair.
dude,
Yeah, but Joe Biden has hair though. Is the thing.
they're like
And
a
it's
year
stuck
apart.
to his.
I mean, the liberals like Trump don't give a fuck. He's like, put $40,000 of hair products on my taxes. Ha! Biden's like, oh, we're just gonna get plugs 1 year, and we're gonna have this other like foundation pay for it. This is not a good Biden impression, but that's what he gets right now. Fuck him.
No, fuck it.
I think that it definitely is like a conversation like based off of the PR like that Democrats do. Just because like Obama was kind of like loved by so many, but then like if you started talking to like people in the Hispanic community, they're like, oh yeah, he deported like 9 million people, 7 million people, or something like that. So like the people that are being affected by the policies do recognize what's going on and don't like it. And in the same way that like Obama, they didn't like Obama, they don't like Biden for like continuing the same policies that Trump is kind of enacted.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the wild thing though is man, and I've said this before the fucking election. I'm like, y'all, Joe Biden is the Republican they put with Obama so that the conservative liberals would vote for the black guy, because they were nervous they were gonna lose those dudes, and so they got the most Republican Democrat they could find, and it worked. And then people chose him as if he was some liberal, which, I mean, Obama was hella center. I mean, man, I'm so tired of this nonsense, dude. People don't pay attention at all. It's totally just like,
remember they remember what they were emotionally struck by on the news that they used to or still listen to. Like 9/11 was a good fucking example of how we were all.
Speaking of the news, you see that?
Fucking
Sorry,
hey, bud.
my bad, my bad. Sorry, go ahead.
I have no idea where you scared that thought right out of my mind. Go ahead.
No, did you see? Remember last week we were talking about, and I said wrongly a few times Taliban. I meant ISIS. That they
That's
said
quite a difference. That's a big difference.
No, but what I mean, I corrected myself on the time too, but just it doesn't matter. In any case, I said last time, our last episode, that they fucking wouldn't tell us what ISIS leader they bombed. And did you see last week they came out and admitted that not only was it all wrong, they killed a dude, his homie, his 4 kids, and their 2 wives. And let me tell you how,
like you said.
Exactly like I said. And let me tell you how it happened, because they have the video. Fucking this dude went and filled up water in jugs of water. They were bringing it back to their own community where they don't have running water. So he went and filled up like 5 jugs of water, him and his homie. They pull up, and all the kids run out to greet him, to go greet daddy's home. And then wham, R.I.P. everyone. And they claimed that it was some ISIS leader, and the only reason they came out last week was because the New York Times grilled them on it.
Yep.
It's fucking wild, dude. I fucking told you.
And this shit fucking happens all the time. And we got lucky that Justin told it was going to happen, and the New York Times picked it up after they heard his tip last week.
I know, that's right.
And they went into this and they took care of it.
Had
So
to.
luckily that happened. But this happens all the time without any of us knowing this kind of shit. Them bombing people or them saying like, we got them, and they get one and they kill literally 50 citizens of another place. 50 people that had nothing to do with this shit, which was the last 20 years of this fucking war. Now it's 2 weeks later, so we can yell about the war and how fucking gross it was without like, you know.
Well, no, it's just like the perfect example of what we did there. You know what I mean? Like, people wanted to play this game because they wanted to be mad at Joe Biden about pulling out. And it's like, yo, them fools, a lot of them motherfuckers was not fucking with us anymore because we killed their innocence. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers just chilling. And you could be for something. You could even be for. You don't fuck with the Taliban. You don't want to be run that way. You're looking for liberation. And those motherfuckers, if they kill your cousin, you don't fuck with them no more. And you do that enough times, boy, a whole city will be against you. You know what I mean? And then they'll be like, oh, like Fox News will show some video. They're burning flags. Fucking, I wonder why.
Right? I mean, it's a terrible situation.
Fucking drones, bud. They should just land them all. That's what I would do if I was president. I'd be literally number one thing. I'm gonna land all these drones.
You're gonna what?
Unless Putin starts acting funny, put all them drones on the ground and leave them there.
How am I going to take pictures of houses then?
Those ones are cool.
Those ones are cool.
They're cool.
Spies.
Terrifying.
Take
The
pictures
ones
of
with
my
the
house and
missiles?
shit.
We don't need those right now. You know what I'm saying? The Earth doesn't need that. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody gotta stand up for the Earth, B.
Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of an author named Kim Stanley Robinson?
It's a great name.
Never
though.
heard of her.
It's it.
All first names.
See, you know how good those names get.
That motherfucker stole 3 first names.
You
Yeah.
can go with all 3 of them, and it wouldn't be weird. Are you Kim? Yeah. Stan? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What's the last-
Stanley?
Stanley? Yeah.
Robinson is not a first name. Robin is,
Rob?
but Robinson is not a first name.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Okay.
two. I mean, it's just the name.
2 for 3.
Right, really.
That's
I mean,
not bad.
most white folks'
Son of
names, if they
Robin.
got a middle name,
There's
is
a-
2 for 3 in their names of being first names.
There's a oh man.
But being named Kim as a man, I'm sure, is a little different.
There's a real quick. There's a comedian. I don't know his name. He used to voice Sheen in the Jimmy Neutron show.
I fucking love Sheen.
But he had a bit that was talking about how like white people names are all verbs. Chuck. He went through like a whole thing of them, but like those are the
Chat.
That one don't work.
Huh? Chat?
Oh, Chat.
Yeah, chat works.
Who the fuck is named Chat?
White folks. Come on.
You know
can
who named
picture a
Chat?
chat in boat shoes and a fucking polo.
A Chat, maybe.
No, chat. Chat.
Chat?
Chat.
Never chat.
Huh. You just don't know enough white folks.
Bud, Butch, Buzz, Carol, Chase, Chip, Drew.
Drew.
There's a whole bunch of them. Hope, Jack, Josh, Lance, Mark. Anyway,
Josh?
Justin. Oh, sorry, that wasn't one of them.
but
I do got a wine ass name, boy.
Kim Stanley Carol Robinson.
Yeah, he's just a sci-fi writer. He writes like fucking weird ass sci-fi communist books.
Scientology.
No, not Scientology. It's like he's an interesting cat, but he was on a podcast I was listening to, and he does sci-fi books, like big ass sci-fi books that are pretty cool, and he likes to explore socialism, communism, and like post-capitalism worlds of what he believes could be. But he was on a podcast just talking about different things, and for a sci-fi writer, he's pretty educated and like pretty like well read, I guess is the most appropriate way, and read in terms of like he like follows like scientific journals and like reads those on top of just not only just reading other sci-fi, right? He's a pretty cool writer. Does some cool stuff, and the books are thick. Like the Mars series is like 4 books, and I think each book is probably 1,000 pages. Very detailed post-apocalyptic Earth moving places. What
Okay.
does government and all this kind of shit
Are you
do?
gonna tell us
And
one of
it's
these
all-
stories, or what's going on?
No, he was just. I mean, the point is of what I was talking about is he was talking on this podcast about really the only thing that really matters right now, truly, is the climate fight and that because helping poor people, doing all these other things is great, but does not matter at all because we're so behind. We're in a place of. And one of the things that he mentioned that I wanted to bring up to you, I thought about y'all when I was talking about this, is that he believes that the only way that we'll really get kind of through this, of not believes, but thinks that this is one of the actually ways that it will happen, is that you have to start paying places that would normally take oil out of the ground to not do it, but still pay them the same amount of money. Other countries, smaller countries, bigger countries that demand that kind of stuff. But it has to come from somewhere, right? Somebody has to step up and do it first, or because like all the Paris Accords and all these other things.
See, I don't
these
know about
rules
that. I
don't
think-
like fucking.
You got to replace it with something that pays enough. Is really what it is.
His argument, I just don't think, is that you can make it fast enough. You can't replace things fast enough. You can't make the switch fast enough for like third world countries that depend on their oil production to even want to stop, which means that the people who pay them, right? Because the people who are making a lot of the oil or even exporting that oil.
But then what happens to those places that run on that shit?
That's the point, is that he's saying is that governments, other bigger governments, need to start just being like, all right, we'll just fucking we'll give you the money, so you're not taking the money from some place that still wants to do this, right? That's how we continue to be capitalistic. And
Sure, but then
this,
how does the power stay on?
how's the power? What do you mean? How's the power stay on?
Because I'll tell you right now, in these third world countries, and we talk about India or something like that, where motherfuckers are rural as fuck still. I mean,
They're not surviving on the fucking oil economy.
Yeah, but it's still all fossil fuels that you end up using. They're fucking burning coal and shit.
Sure, but those people at that level is not. If we stopped all the other shit, the Earth can handle that.
You think so? Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Poor people burning coal in their fucking fireplace.
No, I'm talking about burning coal in those power plants.
burning coal in their like energy plants. Is what you,
Correct.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. Like, if we're paying governments to not do that shit, we'll figure out the same way to.
Speaking of governments
migrate that
paying
shit.
some shit, you see that China's housing market is crashing?
It did.
And the rumors are right now that China's government is not going to bail it out. They're going to let it crash.
Like ours did.
No, we bailed it out.
Oh, who
They
did
let
we
Le-
bail out? Oh, wait. Who did we bail out?
They let Lehman
Who did-
Brothers. They
who
let
did
Lehman Brothers
American bail
crash. The U.S. let Lehman Brothers crash and then bailed out all the other top banks.
Banks. And they let hundreds of thousands of fucking homeowners fucking not get bailed out and go underwater in their homes.
Yeah, but this isn't the
all
same
kinds
thing.
Of shit. Well, that's
These
what
fools-
fucking
these
happened.
fools are
Let's
building-
be clear what happened in 2000.
Well, in China though,
7,
right now, in China,
2009, whenever it was.
in China,
But
these fools are
this-
building houses for people that aren't real.
Yes, this is a whole different thing. This
These
is
fools are
what's
taking
going to happen
loans
now.
to build
This
houses
is-
for people for places that aren't actually populated.
This is iBuyers now. All the fucking internet buyers that are buying up Zillow and all those places, buying up all this shit now. I'm guessing that they're trying to play that same game they did in China, because it's not the government that started this game of speculation selling, and like selling is so the demand is so high. You have to like put a like house under contract and shit, kind of like it was here for a few months, but that shit's like years out, and they're like saying they're building all these houses and they're not. And this is what's causing the crashes, because they have all these people that have bought houses already, but they're not building them. And then now I think they're starting to be like, oh, we can't build them. Sorry. And we're not giving you your money back, kind of shit, which is what kind of crashes the market of when they're like, oh, we can't really
they ain't
do
got
this.
no money.
And it's not the folk, it's not the citizens that are crashing the market, or it's not the lenders necessarily crashing the market there. It's, I don't know, it's other variables, and it's completely different than things that happen here. But they, the government not bailing out people is the same thing our government did. Our government decided to bail out a few corporations to make sure that they could stay afloat and they wouldn't have to take the huge hits. And they, fucking triage that hits over millions of Americans that went underwater on their homes, lost their homes, went into foreclosures, went into short sale, all kinds of shit that they put on the citizens and not those fucking banks. So I don't really give a shit about what China's going to bail out or not unless it's the people. Unless they say fuck these banks and let's bail out the people and make sure they all get paid, they all get homes, and these fucking businesses will pay for it in their taxes.
But you got to understand
that
if the Chinese economy crashes, it also has the same effect on Chinese people that it had on us. Like, it's still people being affected. It's not like the idea that it's just these 7 dudes that are rich and then, oh, poor them, now they're not rich anymore. Well, I mean, well, fuck yeah, fuck those motherfuckers. But it affects all kinds of Chinese citizens that are just like motherfuckers trying to live the Chinese dream. I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what
they're trying to get a house next.
You
to
don't even know what the
the
Chinese dream is. You ain't never been
I know
to
that they're
China.
trying to. They're
Hardly
just,
even know any Chinese.
They're just motherfuckers trying to buy houses. What do you mean? There's people there bought houses already. They're not being built. So all that money, their money that they put in, is gone now. Mm-hmm. Those are just motherfuckers. How come you don't give a fuck about that, man?
What do you mean I don't give a fuck about them? That's exactly who I give a fuck about.
Never mind, man.
Exactly what I'm talking about is those motherfuckers.
But those
that
are the ones
getting screwed
affected
over.
if it crashes. You just said, I don't care if it's blah, blah, what they're thinking. Well, I'm like, that's who it affects.
No. I don't care about
It's the
like,
normal motherfuckers.
who they're bailing. I said I don't care who they're bailing out
They're
unless
not bailing anyone out. That's the point.
it's
The rumor is right now they're going to let it go. That China's not going to, they saw what we did, and they're like, we're not going to do that. Because we don't want our companies thinking they're too big to fail.
Yeah.
So let them fail.
I agree with that, but I think you should support your people, especially if you're claiming to be a communist
I don't know if they are
You should
or
support your
aren't. I didn't read that part of the article. Boy.
Oh, you didn't get all the way through it then?
No, it
did
just
ya?
didn't list that part because I'm not in goddamn China, so it doesn't actually affect me personally.
All right.
So they didn't get into how much it may or may
One of
not
the-
affect motherfuckers. All I know is that if they don't bail it out, gang people that bought homes.
One of the things
Don't
I
have.
have to like always remember when you hear news about China, that our country and our like sphere of news is incredibly biased against China in any way that they present anything. Even when you go to international sources, especially for like American ally capitalists, like run first world countries, are incredibly biased against China in anything they do, which I'm not saying China doesn't do any wrong, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But you got to take a lot of China stuff with a grain of salt when you get it from like Western media, because there is an inherent anti-communist, even though China is as communist as we are a fucking democracy, right? Like in America. Spoiler alert, we're not like neither are neither, right?
Gasp.
Either are neither. Right?
Since when? I gotta call my mom real quick.
Mama, China not communist after all.
Real quick though, Steven, as you get your mic a little bit closer to your mouth, I'm gonna read a comment that I think makes a really good point. From CJ talking about what people aren't realizing is that a lot of Asian investors also purchase property in the U.S. and Canada too.
It's the same thing as putting your money offshore, boy.
Real estate's a really good investment in a lot of places when it's built up where you don't have to live in it to own it. Like when real estate's set up like that, fucking all kinds of wild shit can happen.
Boy, in Canada, there's like full ass apartment buildings that are entirely bought out by Chinese corporations and no one lives there.
The Gates Rubber Company building out here in Denver that sat like a eyesore, a danger. People died in there. They stole copper out of that. Was owned by, I think, an Australian company for decades before they are right now, like in the last like year or two, developing that piece of land.
Is that Mississippi and Santa Fe?
Close. Mississippi Broadway. Right next to the
that
bus
little-
station, right over
Yeah, my
there is
bad.
where the rubber company was. But because it was so tainted with like chemicals and like it was just not a very worthy property that they just let it fucking sit there, and people would try like folks that needed money and shit would go in there and try and steal copper. They would die. There was like stories of them falling through the floors, completely dilapidated, but amazing real estate. And it was owned by some like foreign entity. It might not have been Australia, it might have been England or something like that, but it was owned by some foreign entity and could give no fucks about what happened there, and until it was worth it, right, to them to either sell off or develop and then move in multiple units or move in whatever they develop and do in all these different places.
Yeah, man. Money's weird. It's also fake. It's wild.
It is fake. Yeah.
It's
a
just like
construct,
it's just like
gender.
Yeah, it's totally just agreed on.
Yeah.
Like we agree on this thing. Got it.
And this is
It's
that's
real.
capitalism, right? That's part of capitalism is that there has to be a tender of currency, right? Like there has to be a currency in this instead of like we just all exist and do our thing. And there's lots of ways to live and lots of ways to govern in society, and we still honestly don't know what to do. We suck at it. Like as humans, as like an evolution, the whole thing of it, if we look at like how we govern societies, we don't know what to do and we're still trying to figure it out. And honestly, that don't make, that makes a lot of sense because we're not that old of a species.
Yeah.
You look at a species like a fucking fungi cell, a yeast cell or some shit. Some of those got DNA like going back, like going way back. We're still pretty new. So I don't know. We just need more people like Justin telling us what's going to happen a couple weeks before.
I mean,
With
it wasn't.
Joe
It was
Biden's.
just, no, it's just you just watch. Like if you see the details of what that just says, boy, that was what it said.
No, I hear you. We got to end this, though. I got to pee like a motherfucker.
I mean, yeah, we can still wrap
we-
it up. You got
we
any
got
last
it.
words, Eric?
Yeah, we're about an hour mark in. I wanted to, because we haven't really talked about it since they came out. We had two of the most highly anticipated albums drop last month, but they were
Haven't even heard either of them. Got nothing to say.
Certified Lover Boy by Drake and Donda by Kanye West.
I heard them both. If you want to put on music that's easy, listen to Drake. If you want to put on music that is like, you kind of got to think a little bit, listen to that Kanye. In either case, neither of them had like no bangers or nothing like that.
The only song I have honestly heard is I was like listening to some Project Pat this week, and I saw that he had a song. He had a feature on the Loverboy one, and so I listened to that one. And I appreciated 21 Savage's like attempt at like that old school Project Pat flow. And he tried and did it like pretty well in his little voice. And maybe Drake, I don't remember Drake's piece in it, but I think he might have like tried something around there.
I think the
but
features were the best part of the
I
I
dug
feel
that
like that
song.
about the
I was
entire
like,
album.
I mean, I dug it. I like Project Pat and like that kind of stuff. And so that's the only song I've heard out of either of those albums. Only one.
Charlie Crockett put out a new album. I'm talking about.
Charlie Crockett did, so did Billy Strings.
Oh, Billy Strings. Boy, my two favorites.
That one's a little different though. It's a little
haven't heard
bit
yet.
more like love songy Billy Strings. It's like
right.
Home, but love songy, not so like Home was, but it's still just as much psychedelic, kind of like almost jazz grass, bluegrass jazziness of like,
yeah.
well, they'll do like big old breakdowns. They'll come back, they switch keys. It's very like instrumentally fucking really interesting, which is a little harder to listen to for me to listen to sometimes, but this one does a really good job of using the instruments in lots of different ways, lots of different like sounds and keys and switches, and it's a next level album, but it's one that you got to like be ready to listen to.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Well, is that how you want to end it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we appreciate y'all watching, listening, whatever the fuck you're doing. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all that motherfucking shit. We are LRVT Podcast, at LRVT Podcast. Follow all the shit. And, yeah, it's been the Lone Ranger vs. Tonto with this bitch.
Woo. Out of here.